For our second movie this week, we're talking about a Shudder original. Who Invited Them is a movie about a couple, Margot and Adam. They throw a housewarming party at their new fancy home up in the hills. Doesn't go as well as Adam would like, and Margot just didn't want to do it to begin with. But turns out that a unidentified couple stays behind, and from there things get kind of wacky. So, who invited them? Home invasion movies. I think we've all talked about how they make us completely uncomfortable.
What's worse than somebody who won't leave?
Yeah, exactly. So this home invasion movie, it's not they forced their way in, it's you allowed them in.
They were already in there, man.
Yeah, they were in there and they ain't going anywhere. So this is a home invasion. Now, I think everyone's scared of home invasion movies because of the whole like it can happen to anyone thing. This home invasion movie is I've been there, I've done it, and I hate it. It takes it to an extreme, but anybody who watches this movie can relate to it.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Regina.
This is the first home invasion movie that I've seen where I actually don't feel like as like, on pins and needles as I normally do, because it makes me want to have a drink with them. I want my own Adam's famous old fashioned. In fact, we should have made them while we talked about the movie.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
They did look really good.
It did.
Put some
But it
effort
was just
into
like
it.
such a charming conversation interaction, just a bunch of weirdness and fun going free, just getting to know each other, but like fun and dumb, that it kind of takes it does a very good job of disguising like that there's danger the whole time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Cool movie. But I would say that disguising the danger, maybe it took up too long, before I started to feel the danger, which, the first act of the movie is basically just cringe city. It's it's setting you up to kind of feel sorry for our host, in a certain way, because he's kind of getting clowned on
Right.
by some of his party guests, and his wife is definitely not feeling the vibe, and just feels a little try hard. And so you kind of don't leave that feeling for like a really long time. The interaction between the unwelcome guests and our hosts, it really just plays on that for like maybe a little too long.
You bring up a good point, and spoiler warning, we're going to talk about some of the plot points in this movie,
Yeah.
but we won't ruin anyone's enjoyment of it. And yeah, anybody who has a hashtag for their own housewarming party,
Oof.
definitely try hard. But that was the point. He was super cringy, super over the top. He was very Michael Scott. Yeah, you know what? I agreed with you the second time I was watching this. I was thinking that home invasion movies, like, they're kind of built on the tension of it. Like, there's the whole like, oh my god, this could happen to me. But the movie itself is like, it's really tense. You don't know where it's going. Like, before they know someone's there, there's the whole, when are they going to find out? How are they going to find out thing? This movie almost has no tension. It's really weird. And it's cool. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie, but it is weird to have a home invasion movie without tension. It's almost off-putting, honestly.
The tension comes from the weirdest parts. Like for me, the most uncomfortable part is like when the married couple, Adam and Margot, are having a fight that quickly escalates into just like, those weird jabs, like to like straight up like personal attacks. And that for me, that's where the tension comes in there. It's just uncomfortable to watch. Then we have a side story where friends like lost trying to find their house in the middle of the night. And she has like some weird like tension happening. But all the tension seems to be like completely isolated from our party guests, who are the invaders, really.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up that like secondary story, because totally unnecessary, if you ask me. I did not think that added anything to this story, and it only took away, because you could have been building tension, and you built like this weird tension, and then they set up some things with that character's like husband or whatever that just don't pay off, and like there's just, I don't know, that whole side of it was very it could have been left out.
yeah, there's a few things that they the friend, like you get something of a payoff
Yeah.
at the end, but really pointless. It could have gone
Yeah.
a bunch of different, more effective ways. There's a side plot with the son that goes nowhere whatsoever, involving nightmares. It just doesn't go. It's like he's having them, then he's not having them, is what it amounts to.
Mm-hmm.
There's something going on with a booty call that just kind of happen. They don't really build on it. It's just a one-off scene. They do revisit that one a little bit, like at a later conversation, and that's where you see a little bit of tension when Sasha and Tom, I believe the other guest is named, they're shit stirrers. They're very subtle at it, and they're kind of like, "Oops, did I do that?" kind of instigators. That's really cool. I like when they do that, and that's when you get back to that relatability thing of someone just hanging out, and you're just like, oh my god, when are they going to leave? Oh my god, they're not leaving, and now they're starting shit. Like, I did really enjoy that about it, but any sort of side plot in this, they went nowhere.
I think
Yeah.
that's the problem, is that Sasha and Tom are too likable.
Mm.
They're likable people. Like they're kind of underhanded that way with their shit stirring, but at the same time though, they're not the kind of people who try and make you feel bad by making themselves look better. They're just kind of like, oh, let me just point out these weird small things, but while still building you up. They're not like that person who tries to make you feel bad like by attacking you. It's just like, like it's almost like, well, you should be better than this, and they're trying to help in some kind of weird positive way. They're kind of like your fun friends who like are supportive in some bizarre way, and I think that's also kind of what takes away from kind of like what the home invasion movie should feel like, because they're kind of likable. You want to have drinks with them, like you don't want them to go, and then plus they like let you think that they're gonna have sex with you too, so it's like, well, you're fun.
What a great time. What a great time. Yeah, no, they do have this like innate ability to like build like a certain thing in the host head and then diffuse it. Oh, I'm no shit. No, sorry if you took that the wrong way, And like, yeah, it's very effective. So much so that you're like, what the fuck is even going on? So like by the time the movie kind of comes around to like what the actual payoff is, real interesting dynamic, because you're sympathetic towards our host because you definitely know they're getting played.
Yeah.
But you don't know what to what extent and to what the game is.
Right.
Because there's no real motive. You don't really see what's going. You do not see what's happening until that last little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And then even then it turns out that maybe it wasn't as serious as you thought it was, type of thing.
Right.
So very interesting decision. I thought that kind of took away from things, because it was just an interesting decision to go that route with it, I thought. But I did think that they, like, Tom and Sasha were really good at, kind of planting seeds of dissent, but there wasn't enough of that. They weren't passive aggressive enough, I thought. They weren't
fun.
Yeah, they weren't there. They weren't humble brag. They were just like straight up like, this is what I do. Let me help you out.
Yeah, I'm here to party, man.
Yeah, like let's have some fun. So it's a different take on the home invasion movie, and it's a different take on a specific type of home invasion movie, but I think maybe it's skewed a little too far in the direction of like, this is just, this could happen to anyone. Like, this has happened to you, but we're going to show you an extreme version of it, because they were just way, way, way too nice, too affable.
Yeah.
No, it makes it seem like the thing about home invasion movies is that they're terrifying because it could happen to you, right? Like that's the whole thing. It's like it could happen to anybody. Just like the strangers. It's like all they did, like they were just home, and but
Yeah.
this one has you thinking more like, oh, this has happened to me. Now, was I low key home invaded that time that so and so came over?
Was I molested?
This is the kind of home invasion movie, like this kind of home invasion you hope happens to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why can't these people crash my party?
Yeah. House party invasion is what this is.
This guy, he's rich, has a hot wife. They bring their own drugs. I mean, this is awesome. Like, what more can you ask for?
They know shit about architecture and good records. Fuck, man.
these are the type of people that would never come to one of my parties. I need them
Yeah.
to invade my
I
party.
don't
Give
know
you
these people.
drugs too. They're like they're very
Yeah.
liberal with their drugs. They're just like, oh yeah, have some. Like, I mean, not that like I'm like, oh yeah, everyone bring drugs to my house. I'm just like, that's nice of them. Growing up, you're always told how like beware of drug pushers. They're gonna try and give you drugs. I don't know about you guys, but growing up, no one ever tried to just give away drugs to me.
They tried to sell them
It
to me.
always
I
seems
never
like
gave them away.
if you wanted them, you had to go through quite the ordeal to get
Yeah.
them. So, but here these people are just like, here's my drugs. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
straight up, like, I don't think you're high enough. Let me look you up. And they ain't just smoking weed either. They go,
Oh.
I mean, they don't go super hardcore, but they go a step up. Like, but who invited them? It just came to Shudder right now. Blake, I'll start with you. See or no see?
Invited them. This is to me such a like five down the middle of the road movie. I think you could love it or you could hate it. I found some enjoyment out of it. I did enjoy my time with it. So if you have Shudder, definitely, I don't see why you wouldn't check it out.
And Regina, what about you? See, or excuse me, who invited them? The wrong title.
See it and make yourself a drink while you're watching it. That way you'll feel like you're part of the party.
Yeah, who invited them, even though we're talking about lack of tension and not strong characters and all that stuff, I think is true. But it's worth watching for sure. It's an easy watch. It's entertaining fluff.
I think it's got the good characters, like I think they're interesting characters, and I think the characters are enough to keep you like invested.